Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another action-packed edition of A Work in Progress, AWIPOD, if you will. I'm your host, Brent Piles, and with me, as always, is my good friend and cohort, the Mayor of Canton. Mayor of Canton, how's shoveling snow out there?
Dude, shoveling snow is awful here. It's awful anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're shoveling snow, unless you're shoveling in like Bermuda, and it's because you're smoking some good Bermuda stuff and you think you're shoveling
You're,
snow.
and you're confused?
You're just confused. You're really not shoveling snow.
You're pushing sand around?
Yeah, or you're Tony Khan on a Vegas night shoveling snow through your nostril.
One or the other, probably. I've seen him recently, and he doesn't look as, I think
He
maybe he
doesn't look
slowed
as
down a little bit.
disheveled.
Yeah, no, I think maybe he slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got his cleaned up his act just a little bit. He sounds almost a little bit more clear-headed in his delivery, but that man still can ramble on and on without giving you a direct answer. You could ask that man if the sky is blue, and he would talk about ratings from Dynamite back in 2024.
Everybody knows at least 2-3 motherfuckers that fucking can talk all day and not say a goddamn word. So
I might be one of them. I'm not sure, so I can't say anything.
On a good day, I may be as well. So, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something to you, but I don't remember what it was. But
that Arsenal beat Bayern Munich by 3-1.
They did beat Bayern Munich 3-1, but then over the weekend they tied with Chelsea, 1-1, and Chelsea was down to 10 for quite some time. Thank you for putting the heater in here. Rachel came down here and was like, "It's cold," and then put a space heater in here, so that was nice of her. Then they tied 1-1 with Chelsea. Chelsea scored first, and then we scored one, which it was probably a good thing. It was 11 against 10 because we would have lost if not, because they were way better than we were. We didn't have Gabriel or Saliba. They had to start Mascara and Nketiah, and yeah, it's not the same if you don't have at least Gabby or Saliba out there. So they play Brentford tomorrow, actually at 2:00. I think 3:00 your time.
Brentford?
Yeah, because they play. It's a midweek. It's a midweek Premier League game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant the Champions League. I'm like, Brentford wasn't in the Champions League.
No, Brentford is not the Champions League. That would be something. If Brentford made the Champions League. I don't know how long it's been, but I imagine it's been some time since Brentford.
Also on some American soccer news, Akron U is in the Elite Eight, and nice. They are playing St. Louis to, make it to the Final Four, I think tonight.
St. Louis, huh?
Yeah, Akron U is a soccer powerhouse, man. They're no joke.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, they did. They had a big game against Munich, but then they did lose to. They didn't lose, but they tied Chelsea. It felt like a loss. It really did.
That's a loss. They should beat Chelsea.
Yeah, especially when they were down to 10 guys for so long, and they looked way better than we were. Like, we probably should have lost. I said that after the game. I said, you know what, we probably didn't deserve to win that one. So
they were just kind of Survivor Series in it. Like, when you're a Survivor Series and you're up 4-3, you should win that game.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was like. So, yeah, a bit of a disappointment, but they're still 5 points above City. Well, I guess it's 2 points now because City won today and we haven't played yet. So we're 2 points ahead of City, and they play Brentford tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. The Bears are the number one team in the NFC.
If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that the Patriots and the Bears would be the two number one seeds, I would have told you to go see a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe when people like I always had like some sense. It doesn't make. I always had like some of my favorite teams had on a shirt on or something, and the Bears stuff is the thing that most people say something to me if I'm wearing it, and now it's a whole different thing than what it used to be. People would be like, "Oh, the Bears, huh?" And like like ha ha ha, and now people are like, "Oh my God, your team's doing good," and I always laugh. I'm like, I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
I'm still waiting for the the bottom to fall out.
Yeah, no, I was just like, well, it's like, oh, they're playing the Eagles. There's no way they'll beat the Eagles. And then they go out there and they beat the fucking Eagles.
Super Bowl champs.
In fairness, though, the Eagles' fucking offense looked awful. They tried to do the tush push, and one of our safeties just ripped the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands.
Yeah, the Eagles' offense isn't that great. They're a bit overrated on that side of the ball, and their defense isn't that great either. So I don't know. I feel like they've kind of faked it till they made it, and they made it a couple years.
Well, yeah, I think maybe a Super Bowl hangover. You know how it is. Usually, after a team wins the Super Bowl, they usually aren't so
I
good.
don't
I
know
mean,
anything about
we're
that.
talking about this, but they're still going to make the playoffs. I think they have like a 95% chance of making the playoffs. But
Oh yeah, I think they're in the number 2 seed right now.
they are the number 2. Yeah, because they were
or
number
maybe
1.
the Rams are, but
No,
still.
it's the Rams. Yeah, then the Eagles. That's right. Well, they're in the NFC East. That's why they could probably lose all their games and still make the playoffs.
Very true.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes me laugh every time I think about it. And the AWIPOD Bowl is coming up in 2 weeks. The Bears play the Packers this week, but then after that, it's the Bears versus the Browns, my team versus your team. And don't worry, the Bears will let it be close because they always let it be close with everyone.
I want the Browns to lose the rest of the year. They need a high draft pick next year.
Said every Browns fan for the last 20 years.
Yeah, don't let your Bears team lose to this sack of garbage.
Oh, they better not lose. Well, I don't know. They might. Who knows? I try not to get my hopes up because I've seen where this goes before. And somebody said to me today, they were like, they're not going to win in the playoffs. So I'm like, oh no, I don't have any high expectations. But if they made the playoffs, that'd be fucking great. I'd be so happy with that.
Yeah, I'm still shocked. I can't believe the record.
Me fucking neither, man. I can't fucking believe it. It's insane. But another thing that happened this weekend was Survivor Series, and I know you said you didn't get to the very end of Survivor Series. Now, I felt this show was a bit underwhelming. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Man, I always hate to feel like the positive homer that just loves all the WWE pay-per-views, but I actually enjoyed it. Like I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of people, downplaying it, saying it was like the worst show of the year or one of the worst WWE pay-per-views in years. And I kind of get the feeling of staleness kind of setting on when it comes to a lot of the talent in WWE. But I enjoyed it all around. I thought all the matches were good. I mean, there were only 4 of them, so it would have been hard to screw that up. I enjoyed the John Cena, Dominic Mysterio a ton. Both War Games matches I enjoyed, and Nikki and Stephanie Vaquer both delivered for me too. So I can't say it was a bad pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just there was something about it.
It was underwhelming.
Yeah,
you're right.
The women's War Games match I thought was okay. I didn't think that one was so bad. I don't know. I don't know if maybe I expected more out of the men's match, but like the ending fell very flat. Like I get what they're trying to do. It's a mystery person. It was funny to you. I said maybe it was Chris Jericho, and then you said, "What did you say to me?"
He was not moving up that cage that quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, "True."
I think I see where you're going with like the men's side, where you didn't really have anyone that was going to steal the show. Like in singles matches, not a single one of those guys does anything wrong. They both always deliver. But in something like a War Games, you want someone that's going to impress and do something phenomenal or spectacular. And you're not going to get that with any of those 10 guys that were in there. Not a single one of them is going to give you that. And, maybe if they put 2 cruiserweights on each side, maybe you could have gotten something a little bit more wowing.
Yeah.
Like if you would have put Montez Ford on one side and I'm trying to think of someone else on the other side, maybe Ilya Dragunov just randomly.
Oh, God.
So add those 2 guys to that mix and pull out whichever one you didn't want in there. You're probably going to get something fun and good.
I want a War Games match, and I want Gunther and Ilya Dragunov to be the captains, and I want them to pick teams, and we'll go into a War Games match. That sounds amazing.
We'll get that one year. It's coming.
I hope so. Yeah, that's a great point, and I don't know. I did like that they didn't do a whole lot of every single person pulling 2 or 3 things out of the ring and stopping the match flat. So I thought that was good. But it's also weird to see like we talked about this before about, somebody's getting beaten up in the ring, but you're taking your sweet ass time to get out there. Like that's
Yeah,
another
I
thing
did
about
not
it.
like that at all.
Yeah.
Especially the Roman Reigns entrance. That took forever.
And then I'm sorry, I get that the whole thing for Jey Uso is that he does the thing, but he literally got into the cage, helped them come back, and then he did his whole entrance thing again until it was time for them to be at the disadvantage again. So it made him look like a complete fucking idiot.
I tell you what, Jey Uso's losing a lot of support from me.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 100% his fault, but like that's not the time to do that. Like that just isn't the time to do. It's stupid.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
At some point you got to tell creative, if anything, like, hey, I can't get made look like an idiot.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
By this time, I had eaten a couple of special brownies. You know what I mean, Mayor? And I'm sitting here looking at him doing this in the middle of the goddamn War Games match, and then the clock starts counting down for the next person to come out, and I'm like, well, am I high or is he high? Is what I was thinking. Because what the fuck? What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
It was just dumb, and that's probably why.
Is there a sloth on the screen, or am I high? No.
Yeah, and I thought that the John Cena Dominic matches and I knew it was coming, but there was just too much interference. And I don't know if John Cena's second to last match was the time to have Liv Morgan come back. And that's just my own personal feelings. I don't have any dislike towards Liv Morgan. I love Liv Morgan. I just don't know if that was the time. And I'm a super John Cena homer. And so for that to be a second to last match, it was meh for me.
I'm still not buying any of the fact that they're saying these are going to be his last matches.
No, you don't believe that?
I don't believe it whatsoever. I don't. I think they're going to do that for like a year. And you know how many times Terry Funk and Ric Flair retired? I feel like John Cena is kind of going to be on that same trajectory. You're not going to get him as a main event, as a full-time player. Those Saudis are going to bring out money, and he'll be back.
Maybe.
I don't feel it. I don't buy it whatsoever.
The thing is, I like it back where he is now because he has good matches again. Like before, when he would come back and have a match, they usually weren't very good, and that's to be expected because how can someone just step into a ring and have a great match when you're plus 40 years old? And so I don't want to see him come back and not look. I want him to look like he looks now. I don't want him to come back. And
he's been phenomenal. This might be the best he's looked since chain link around his neck.
Well, I don't know. He was really good during the United States Open Challenge challenge when he would do that every week. He was really good during that too. I think that's when people really started to come around on him because it was always a mixed bag with him, and obviously he still gets a mixed bag when he comes out. But they do that because that's what you're supposed to do when John Cena comes out. Some people are supposed to chant Cena sucks, but I think he's universally loved now, and I think it's because of that run. He also, he helped a lot of guys who were coming up have big matches on Raw, like Sami Zayn and a bunch of guys. I mean, in a feud with Kevin Owens, and he just did a lot of really good stuff. I mean, sorry, I mean to turn this into the John Cena show. We'll do that another time, but that's what I think. But yeah, so Survivor Series, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was Survivor Series. I enjoyed it, but I mean, the more you spell it out the way that you're doing, I feel like it could have been more. And I think that a lot of the problem with that is a lot of people watch probably Blood and Guts and expected something similar. And you were not going to get anything on a WWE show to the level of what you're going to get on Blood and Guts with AEW.
Yeah, you're not going to have anybody bleeding like Sky Blue was like fucking 5 minutes into that thing. She was gushing. I don't even know, it looked like a horror movie. You think that was real, or you think they're using like capsules?
I think it was real. I think it was 100% real.
That was a lot of blood. It looked like a horror movie.
It looked like when Eddie Guerrero and JBL had that match, and Guerrero looked like he took a bullet in the head.
It looked like fucking Carrie when they dumped the fucking pig's blood on her. Is what it fucking looked like.
Yeah, it was something.
I was like, geez, Louise. I still haven't watched all of that, or either one, or the men's one. But I plan to one day, maybe. But anyway. Oh, I was like, what is that smell?
It's sage.
I know, but I thought this. I was just catching a blanket on fire. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You're catching a blanket on fire?
Yeah, I'm burning blankets. Fuck this house. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So
Is that how the Bears are winning?
Now that we're Bears are winning, you're gonna burn the house down. Yeah, I think it's time. So what we were gonna do today is something a little bit different, and we were gonna do our top 10 favorite tag teams of all time. And Mayor of Ken, I'm gonna do you the honor, and I will let you give me your first tag team. Who was number 10 on your top 10 tag team list?
Number 10 on my tag team list. They won a championship. I believe they only won one. I think it was from Demolition, but I could be wrong on that. And they had possibly the greatest entrance theme song of all time.
Oh, I know.
So, and he's also our good friend, how I end every show nowadays. So my number 10 favorite tag team of all time goes to Strike Force.
Wow, that's a great one. And what was the name of that great song that they had?
Girls in Cars. And I believe it was done by, I think it was Rick Derringer, possibly. Might be wrong on that.
I mean, I have no idea.
I think it was Rick Derringer, Girls in Cars. And look it up on YouTube if anyone's listening to this right now, this very second. Pull up Girls in Cars.
Yes, pause this podcast really quick, just for a second.
Only 1 second.
Just for 1 second, go find Girls in Cars, and you'll be set. So I just looked it up, Mario. Strike Force, Tito Santana, they won the Tag Team Championship October 27th, 1987 by defeating the Hart Foundation, actually.
Oh, the Hart Foundation. They lost it to Demolition.
I believe that is correct. I think it was at WrestleMania 5 that they lost it to.
And Demolition. If you beat the Hart Foundation for the tag titles, you're legit.
I mean, the Hart Foundation is a really good tag team, and who knows, maybe that will make one of our lists as well. So mine is, I don't think one's going to be on a lot of people's top 10, but it's my 10, and I know they haven't been around for long, and if you only know them for what you've seen them do on SmackDown or Raw, you've missed out, because they had a phenomenal run on a show that was called the NXT UK, and it is, of course, 2 tasty deals and 1 snack pack, and that is pretty deadly because, I mean, if you haven't seen what they did in NXT UK, it was phenomenal. They were terrific heels, great promos, chicken shitted baby faces, just one of my all-time favorite tag teams. And I know a lot of people might not understand that because, like I said, if you've only seen what they've done on SmackDown and Raw, you might not understand it. But for me, one of my favorite tag teams ever is pretty deadly.
I agree. I mean, on SmackDown, they've kind of gone the route of kind of just sticking them in the, what was it? Fandango and Tyler Breeze. What was their tag team name?
Oh, what were they called? The Fashion Police? No, that's not what they
Fashion
were called.
Police, maybe.
Breeze Dango is what they were called.
Breeze Dango, whatever they were called. I think that's kind of what they're going for on the main roster with them. So it doesn't hit quite as well as it was during their NXT UK run. But they both can deliver in the ring. Phenomenal promos, both. They're both fun.
They would do commentary sometimes on NXT UK too, and they were even good on that. They were so funny. But yeah, pretty deadly. Number 9. Who's at number 9 for you?
Number 9 for me was the Nasty Boys.
Wow. The certified sink pissers themselves.
I mean, if you watched AWIPOD over the past, 5 years, we've all been some Nasty Boys fans. We've all been some certified sink pissers in here. And sometimes, if the line is long in the bathroom, you just got to piss in the sink. And no one can piss in a sink like Brian Knobs and Jerry Saggs. So,
no.
Nasty Boys, number 9 on my list. WCW and WWF champions.
They were. That's correct. Yeah. Well, the Nasty Boys. I didn't put the Nasty Boys on mine. They'd be just outside, but that is a good pick. I mean, they were a staple in tag team division and both tag team divisions in the 90s. So yeah, great pick. I got some guys started in ECW, came to WWE, had some great stuff. It's the Dudley Boys, of course. I mean, the 3D is still one of my favorite finishes of all time, and them doing that through a table to someone, I don't think it gets much better than that for me. For a tag team finisher, that's the best one there is. I think that's even better than an LOD.
Oh yeah, the Doomsday Device.
Yeah, so the Dudley Boys.
I agree. I loved it.
Bubba Ray and Devon, not like big, not like dances with Dudley and Spike Dudley. It's Bubba Ray and Devon. Just want to clarify.
I did not have them on my list, but they're definitely in that. Like they could be there. This is not the best tag teams of all time. These are just what my favorite tag teams were.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I meant to say at the beginning of this, and I just wanted a disclaimer here that these are not everybody's favorite tag teams, or who had the most championships, or who won the most matches, or whatever. I know there's a lot of legendary teams out there that we're not going to have on our list, and it's probably because me and the mayor didn't grow up watching that stuff, or we didn't watch a lot of that stuff, and that's why I know the Freebirds and the Von Erichs are great, but I just didn't watch a lot of that, so they're not going to make my list.
Yeah, Youngblood and Steamboat are not on my list, but they're probably one of the top tag teams of the early '80s.
Yeah, the Briscoe brothers, great tag team. I didn't watch wrestling in the '70s and the early '80s, so they're not going to make my list. The only thing I know,
other Briscoe brothers that are not even related, both another great tag team.
Exactly. But yeah, so who's number 8 for you?
Number 8. I love this team. I think they're one of the best, if not the best, in-ring tag team of all time. Very underrated, and that is Team Angle, Charlie Hawes and Shelton Benjamin.
Also known as the world's greatest tag team, correct?
The world's greatest tag team, yes. And they were with Kurt Angle at the time, and Kurt would cut the promos because Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Hawes were not Paul Heyman by any sort on the microphone, but they could both work in the ring. Like, they're as good as it gets when it comes to a tag team for me.
That's a great pick. I always liked them too because, and I always liked Shelton Benjamin, not so much Charlie Hawes because he could always put on good matches. And it's the same thing with those guys. I mean, you put them in with anybody. I remember there was an Extreme Rules where they had a ladder match with, I don't remember who it was, but it was really, really good. It was years ago. But yeah, no, that's a great pick. I didn't think about them, but that is a good pick. Mine is going to be Stunning Steve Austin, and Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes. This team should have had a much longer run than they did. I don't know how. I can't remember exactly how long they were together for, but I don't think it was for too long. Maybe a couple of years. But it might have even been that long. But if you think of what they could have done if they would have kept them together, and I think this was one of the things that really broke Austin out of his shell, because people said that he couldn't cut promos before he came to WWE, but I always, when I go back and watch old WCW stuff, I think after he was with the Blondes and he was even a heel then, I thought he cut good promos even then. So I never understood why people said he couldn't cut a good promo. But before he got with Brian, obviously, I don't think he really had the confidence to be able to. But I think being with Brian, gave him the confidence. And they had some great stuff with, I know, Steamboat and Shane Douglas, I think, were a tag team at that time. And they had some great cage match together with those guys. And yeah, so the Hollywood Blondes is number, I don't remember what number we were on. Number 8?
Either 8. I think 8 for you. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, number 8. Now, go ahead with number 7.
I wanted to put them on my. Actually, we haven't had any duplicates so far.
Which I'm surprised by. Yeah, I'm surprised.
So that's pretty awesome. I'm glad about that because I wanted the Hollywood Blondes on my list, but I just didn't feel like they were together long enough to be able to throw them on there for me. So I did have a tag team that has been together for a long time in WWF and WCW. It probably should be in most people's top 10s list, I would think, and that is the Steiner brothers. For accolades alone, they both were, held championships in both companies, both intense, both great. I mean, Rick isn't great on the mic. I don't even know if you can say Scott was great on the mic, but he was entertaining on the microphone.
Oh, man, yeah.
You had no idea what was coming out of his mouth. You didn't know. If you gave him a microphone, it was like CM Punk pipe bomb before the pipe bomb, and it wasn't eloquent.
It might not make any sense, but you're going to be like, did he just say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when he's telling Ric Flair to go spend his money not on hookers and to go get his yellow crooked teeth fixed on live television, you're like, wait, there's no way he said that. I misheard that, right?
You didn't even have DVR back then either. You couldn't even rewind it.
No, you couldn't even rewind it. So, but yeah, that wasn't Steiner Brothers tag team era, but that was Scott Steiner doing Scott Steiner things. And the tag team alone was fantastic. They had so many good tag moves with one another, and they both played off each other really well. And Scotty Steiner with the mullet might have been the best wrestler in the world that was stuck in a tag team and didn't get a chance to break out at the time.
I mean, you might be right about that. I remember hearing a story on Bruce Pritchard's podcast when I listened to that years ago, where he said that he wanted to like bring him in and have him win the Royal Rumble in 1993 and like challenge for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania, but they shot that down.
I think he was the best wrestler in the world.
I mean, you might not be wrong with this, like with their size and their athleticism and the things they could do. I mean, they were doing Hurricane Ranas and shit. It was called the Frankensteiner, but that's what it was. It was a Hurricane Rana, and they're fucking And the mayor is completely waiving the fact that they went to Michigan here.
I'm letting that slide, especially after Ohio State finally ended the drought and beat Michigan. I'm letting it slide for right now because I love the Steiners. I love I love Rick's son. And I'm not sure if Scotty's son is going to end up in WWE, but
you know he will.
He's definitely a stud.
You know he will. You know he'll be in that bitch. I don't have the Steiner brothers in my top 10 either. But I get why people would want them in their top 10, but I don't know, just not for me. I mean, if I had to make a top 15, they'd be in it.
Yeah,
they might be number fucking 11. You know what I mean? But I didn't think about a top 15. I thought about top 10. But I get
about your favorite. It's all about your favorite. That's what we're doing here.
This is the first like new era tag team that we've got on here, like this era of wrestling tag team. I mean, they've been around for quite some time. I know people might not say that they're not a tag team because there's 3 of them instead of 2 of them, but they won the tag team championships a bunch of times. And if you wanted to pick the Von Erichs or the Freebirds as your favorite tag team, I would totally accept that. And so mine is the New Day because, of course, everybody loves Biggie and Xavier Woods, but Kofi Kingston's been one of my favorite wrestlers for when he was Jamaican man. So I love everything about the New Day, even when they tried to make them heels at first. They were just too funny to hate, and now they'll go down as one of the best WWF tag teams in history. I'm not going to say they're one of the best tag teams in wrestling history, but as far as WWE goes, I'd say you got to be in there. So the New Day is number 7 for me.
Yeah, I enjoy it. The fact that they brought them in as heels thinking they were going to have this goofy gospel gimmick and the crowd could not stop getting behind them after a couple weeks, they realized they were onto something. Just let them be them. And the more that they got to be themselves, the more they got over. And it was so much fun for that ride of just watching them being themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they're heels now, but they weren't then. So we're to number 6. Number 6. I think my next 2 might be the area where we might overlap. But who do you got at number 6?
I don't know yet. You might. I bet you don't have these 2.
I might not, but
number 6, Edge and Christian. I'll keep it short since we talk a lot. I really enjoyed Edge and Christian, and back to Angle, Team Eck with Angle and Christian and Edge. Yeah. I've always been more of a fan of Christian, and I always thought Christian was going to be the breakout star. Not that he didn't have his own, great Hall of Fame level worthy run.
Yeah, he certainly isn't Marty Jannetty, that's for sure.
No, he definitely wasn't the Marty Jannetty, but I always felt that Christian, for me, was the star of the group. And I always loved his work, and I loved Edge's work as well. And the 2 of them together just played off each other from being best friends forever. I mean, growing up, they're good buddies. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them as a tag team, and that was my number 6.
You're right. I don't have them.
See?
That's also a very acceptable. I was always more of a fan of just Edge himself as opposed to the tag team. But yeah, obviously they have a legendary career, so nothing wrong with that pick. My number 6 is, 80 early 90s had some of the best entrance music ever of that era. They wore a mask that looked like dominatrix, but they were a staple of my childhood. I loved their Hasbro figures. They were some of my favorites. They brought in Brother Crush later on, but this is just the twosome of Axe and Smash. It's the Demolition. They're a walking disaster. So, I mean, if I think of my childhood and I think of tag team wrestling, I think of Demolition. So they got to be in my top 10.
I definitely have them in my top 10, and they're in my top 5. They are not number 5, but I'll get to them later. My number 5, speaking of earlier, Marty Jannetty, I have Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty as the Rockers.
Yep.
I had their poster on my wall. Every girl I knew at the time all loved the Rockers. A lot of them actually were Marty Jannetty girls. A lot of them really loved Marty Jannetty. So I was a big fan of the Rockers. Everyone I knew that actually liked wrestling and was like fringe wrestling fans, they all loved the Rockers. They both had that crossover appeal, and they both were great in the ring. Both could deliver. I don't know what else you can say about the Rockers. Both of them probably should have went on to be huge stars other than Marty Jannetty's outside of the ring abilities to stay sober.
Someone's drug escapades stopped at a certain point and someone's didn't. So, or if you believe Bret Hart, one of them was lovers with Vince McMahon. I don't know. I didn't say it. Bret Hart said it. They are definitely also in my top 10, and they're in my top 5, the Rockers. So there we go. My next one is going to be the Hart Foundation. I just mentioned Bret Hart, but yeah, the Hart Foundation. Obviously one of the best tag teams ever. I mean, you got the power and then the speed and the excellence of execution of Bret Hart. They wore the pink. They used to have Jimmy Hart with them. I more liked them when they were baby faces, obviously, but that's also, they're like Demolition. When I think of tag team wrestling in my childhood, I think of the Hart Foundation. So the Hart Foundation have got to be in my top 10, and they are number 5.
Yeah, they're going to be on my list here coming up shortly as well. But my number 4, I have an NBA Jam t-shirt for them. We both love this guy. There's no way I can't leave him out of my top 10. I moved him all the way up to number 4. I kept putting him at the list and I kept moving him up. I'm like, no, I love this guy. I can't bring him any further. And I kept trying to like list people and I'm like, nope, can't put them over him. So my number 4 is the natural disasters. You got earthquake, you got typhoon, the whole world. I mean, how do you fight a natural disaster? 2 400-pound guys that can fly around and have fun together, whether they were babyface or heels. They both were great. I loved them. And we've watched so many matches on AWIPOD of these two fellas.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's no way I could leave them out of my top 5. So I had the natural disasters at number 4.
Handsome Earthquake has his own wing in the AWIPOD Hall of Fame. He's a Handsome Earthquake everywhere. I didn't put them in my top 10. But wow, man, you're right. They're one of the greatest tag teams ever. Absolutely. Number 4 for me is you picked Edge and Christian. Well, I picked the Hardy Boys. I always like the Hardy Boys better than Edge and Christian. And it's more like my teenage years, but they were like my favorite tag team during my teenage years. And so, I mean, they were always just really cool. They always did really cool shit, like shit I'd never seen before. And they're fucking around forever. I mean, they're still wrestling in TNA right now. So, yeah, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I think you either were a Hardys or an Edge and Christian kind of guy. So you like the Hardys. I like Edge and Christian. We all fit in that same group of, the TLC group. I wanted to put the Dudley Boys in here. I feel bad not having them in there because there's a couple of teams on the fringe that were just like more favorites than, they should really deserve it based on their accolades over time.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, there's some of these teams shouldn't be, considered one of the greatest tag teams of all time, but our favorite tag team is a different story.
So my number 3, I feel like they could probably fall in the greatest of all time consideration by most people. I think they really revolutionized tag team wrestling in the early 80s, and that's the British Bulldogs.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good pick.
The two of them together, you kind of had that speed and power, but both of them could fall into that category. And I loved them early on, and then I liked them during the later run. Even I can't say later, but when they had Matilda as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't love two guys with a dog?
Two guys with a bulldog.
Yeah.
Wasn't even there.
I wasn't even fucking there.
But yeah, those guys in tag team wrestling before I think tag team wrestling really hit mainstream. I think those guys were on the verge of being the best in the world.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great pick. Yeah, that is a really good pick. Mine is another newer tag team, and it's like they're like multiple tag team champions. They're, we talked bad about him earlier. Well, we kind of made fun of him earlier for what he did at Survivor Series, but they've always been a great tag team. Always one of my favorite tag teams, and it was nice when they reinvented themselves from the guys in the face paint to what they've become now. And it's the guys that have been down since day one-ish, and it's the Usos. They're number 3.
Yeah, perfect. They deserve it. I enjoyed them. I didn't have them on there just because I didn't have too many modern teams really on my list.
Yeah.
Just because that's not really my vibe as much as, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Yeah.
But you already had these guys. I think you had them at number 5. Definitely had a lot of great matches with the Bulldogs and early Rockers, and that's the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
You got not the top 2 tag teams for me. I think Brett carried a lot of it.
Well, yeah.
And I would have loved to have seen Brett and Owen have a later Hart Foundation run.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would have been so much fun. But, yeah, the Hart Foundation, 2 of the best cohesive unit, just working together. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, really great tag team. My number 2, I think you had them at number 5, maybe. And it's Rockers? Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, the Rockers. Yeah, so that's funny. We had the same ones just in different positions, but the same positions.
And I could have gone either way with it too. Like it's not like any of these I could have taken out and been like, oh, that's a terrible pick.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that we didn't have more overlap than we did. But yeah, I mean, like you said, had the poster on the wall, pretended to be. I remember I had my parents were friends with another couple, and they had a son, and we would pretend wrestle, and we would be the Rockers. And yeah, I mean, forget about it. The action figures, everything. I was the biggest. I always liked Shawn Michaels the best, which is funny that it worked out that way for me. But yeah, so I mean the Rockers. You talked about them. What else is there to say? So now here it is, Mayor. Both of our favorite tag teams of all time. I think I already know who yours is. Who is it?
I don't know if you know who mine is. Maybe you do. My favorite tag team of all time was Demolition.
Yeah, because I said him earlier. You were like, "Oh, well, I'll have him later." You hadn't said him yet.
I mean, I love them because they scared me, but I still rooted for them. That theme song with them coming out with the spikes on the shoulders and the because at the time I didn't really know the Legion of Doom as much,
right?
So I did not have them on my list.
Same.
But I did know Demolition because I was definitely watching WWF at the time. And those two were what I knew tag team wrestling was as growing up. They scared the shit out of me, but they were so cool. I wanted to root for them. They had the great music. They had the great moves. They were just the cool team to root for tag team wrestling.
Yeah, I remember even like when they were heels. Remember when they were like heels sometimes when you were a kid, you would just think to yourself, I can't wait for them to be good guys so I could cheer for them. And I remember I used to think that about Demolition. Like, I just cannot wait till these guys are good guys so I could cheer for them.
Yeah. I mean, and I think at one point in time they had the longest title run. And I think the New Day took it, maybe?
It could very well be. It's a great stat to look up.
I think the New Day broke their record for the longest single run of a tag team championship.
You know what's easiest in looking anything up on Google? I'll just ask ChatGTP.
But Demolition did have it for a while, I believe.
Who has the longest run as WWF Tag Team Champion?
I'll say it's 450 days.
That could be. You might be right.
There's no way. I'm just throwing a number out of my ass.
Okay, hold on. Oh, what was the second longest? I asked it.
If you're looking at like 70s or 80s, you got like Young Blood and.
The funny thing is that it's like the number one, the longest is the Usos. The second longest is the New Day.
Oh wow, they must have both broken.
Who's the third longest?
It has to be Demolition. They had to have broken it. They both probably broke it. What was their reigns? What were their reigns? Was it over 450?
It actually, it was over 450. The Usos was like 600 and something.
Holy crap!
It says Brian London. It says no. It says Brian. It says Paul London and Brian Kendrick had theirs for 331 days.
They were a team that I thought about. I wasn't going to put them in my top 10, but I did think about them.
They had the weird masks on, and it was. Yeah, so I don't know.
I see Paul London a couple times a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's still wrestling in Akron at my little local federation. I don't know where he's out of, but he still wrestles there a lot.
Out of Cannon, I think, is where he's out of. My number one wasn't on your top 10. I don't know if it would make a lot.
I know who they are.
Yeah, I know you do because I talk about it all the time. I've said it on the show many, many times. They probably don't make a lot of people's top 10s. They probably don't make a lot of people's top 5s. They certainly don't make a lot of people's top 2s, but they're my number one. And it's the guys with the Texas accents, but they're somehow from Harlem, New York, even though I never thought about that as a kid because I didn't think anything about it because I live in Nebraska where people don't have accents. So it's the Harlem Heat. They were just super cool to me. I loved them when they were heels, baby faces, when we had Sister Sherry. They had the cool music. They were like one of the first people I remember that would talk trash to the camera as they would come to the ring. And I just thought I loved everything about them. I just thought they were the fucking coolest guys on the planet. Even when they were bad guys, I loved them. So, yeah, Harlem Heat, favorite tag team ever.
I didn't have them on my top 10 list only because I knew you'd have them probably at 1 or 2. Yeah. So I was trying not to have duplicate tag teams, but they would have been in my top 10. I was just trying not to have overlapping teams other than a few that I knew. Like, you can't not – I'd sound like an idiot if I didn't have the Hart Foundation in my top 10.
Well, someone on TikTok told me they were an underrated team, and I thought that was funny because no. Yeah,
the
so there
Foundation?
It is. No. Did I ever tell you about the person? This is a long time ago, ages on Twitter when I used to use that thing. Oh, and by the way, if anybody out there gets a DM from Glenn on Twitter, he's fucking sick in the hospital, so he's not DMing anybody. Somebody fucking hacked his account, and whoever did it can go fuck themselves. Okay, just want to put that out there. Somebody on Twitter told me one time that Bret Hart was overrated, and I was like, I think I had to block you now because how is Bret Hart overrated? Are you kidding me? Bret Hart?
Bret Hart's overrated for what?
Bret Hart overrated? What, playing checkers? What are we talking about?
I mean, the man can hold a grudge like no one. Like, I hold a grudge pretty well, but Bret Hart can hold a grudge.
You're right about that one.
And he's probably the best in the ring wrestler of all time. Yeah, he's top 3. I'll give him top 3 without even thinking.
He's in there. He certainly isn't overrated. That's like saying, who's overrated? Michael fucking Jordan. Come on.
Yeah, he was overrated or underrated. Either way, whichever way you say it, you're going to sound like an idiot.
You know who's overrated? Barry Sanders. Are you dumb?
He's on the worst team of all time, and he just still ran for 1,800 yards a season.
He would run for 20 yards, but only make 3 yards because his offensive line was so bad that he had to run backwards 10 yards to make 3 guys miss.
Yeah, I don't know about people sometimes.
Here, I don't know if you did any, but I have a few of my least favorite tag teams. You want to hear them?
Can I give you my one? I only have one.
Oh yeah, give it to me.
And it's gonna be stupid. I'm gonna probably get like hate for this when people hear this.
What is it?
I absolutely hated the Outsiders.
Oh, really?
I hated them. I did not like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash together as a tag team. I feel like they killed the tag team division in WCW, and they didn't need to do it. They could have been in that upper middle card status, both of them. They didn't need the tag belts. And the tag team division at that time in WCW was so stocked full of talent that I feel like it hurt everyone involved by having those two as tag team champions. Neither of them needed it, and they weren't that great of a tag team. They were just buddies that liked to travel together and drink beers.
Okay, and if you have a problem with what you just said, what the mayor just said, name me one fucking Outsiders match right now that you're like, man, I need to go back and watch that one. I bet you can't.
No, there was so much talent in WCW in the tag team division that they did not need it. I mean, there could have been so many guys that could have come up and taken the tag belts and had a run with it that it would have felt impactful and elevated some guys. From tag team guys to single stars, just like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels did in 10 years beforehand.
They were doing a lot of WCW, ended up being a lot of thrown together tag teams, like what we see nowadays, where it's just a bunch of thrown together tag teams that aren't actual tag teams. And that's what they were doing.
And I'm not saying like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, two of my favorite singles wrestlers and talents of all time. Like, I mean, they're way up there. They did not need a tag team run in WCW. It just was, what do you call like a glory project? I don't want to say anything stupid about them, but they didn't need it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was a waste of a belt and a waste of a spot.
I know you hated the Outsiders, but how did you feel about Fake Razor and Fake Diesel as a tag team?
I mean, I got, what was his name? Bogner and Kane.
Yeah.
One of them went on to do a lot of things, but
a lot of things.
I like them as a tag team better than the other two.
What about? Do you remember this one from the like the early '90s? What Well Done?
Oh yeah, they were in the '93 Rumble, I think, together.
It was '95. I want to say they were
'95 Rumble. Was it as a Madison Square Garden one? I think, right?
No, it was in like fucking Florida. It was like Tampa or some shit like that. Some trash town.
Yeah, Well Done. I remember them. I can't tell you what their names were.
It was like Johnny Well and Timothy Dunn or some shit like that. They were Well Done.
Tag team.
Yeah, that's not a good name. Remember the new Midnight Express?
The new was this WWE?
Yeah, it was Bob Holly and Bart Gunn.
Ooh boy, yeah, that didn't
need to happen. Audacious Bart.
That didn't need to happen. There was no reason for that.
No, the new anything never works.
No.
What about Techno Team 2000? That's just a stupid name.
I'll tell you this. I probably would have enjoyed their promos and matches better than a couple of these teams.
Yeah, you know that's
before the couple of bad teams that you've named.
Yeah, I don't remember this one, but do you remember the Dicks, Chad and James Dick?
Yeah, I do.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do. I think they were the ones that were dressed like flesh penises.
Yeah,
flesh-colored penises.
Yeah, I think that's the ones. The Blade Runners, only because the Ultimate Warrior was in it.
Yeah, that was Sting and James Hellwig. I won't even call him the Ultimate Warrior because he's the ultimate dickhead. James Hellwig.
Also, any team Lex Luger was a part of.
I like the Skyscrapers. I didn't like them.
Lex Luger wasn't in the Skyscrapers?
No, he wasn't. I just was saying I like the Skyscrapers. I don't know how I got there, but I like the Skyscrapers.
You know, I like the Skyscrapers too. You're right. And of course, if I'm talking about my least favorite tag teams of all time, you can't forget about the fucking Killer Bees because the Killer Bees sucked.
And Rhythm and Blues.
Rhythm and Blues. Well, that was at least hilarious because to see Greg Valentine pretend like he had any sort of rhythm at all was hilarious. At least.
Yeah.
But there you have it. That's our top 10 favorite tag teams and some of the least favorite tag teams of all time.
B. Brian, no Blair.
Brie Bryant, and no jumping Jim Brunzell. And people always used to say to me, he has a great drop kick. Yeah, and what fucking year, motherfucker? Because I never saw it.
Yeah. I don't remember it.
Yeah, tell me what fucking year, because we never saw it. So there you have it. That's it. That's all I got for you this week. So let's give you the plugs before we get out of here. Make sure you check out It's the First and Last of Wrestling. It's with Rob and Dan. It's Unbooking the Territory. And check out the Doctor Who podcast with Danny Inside. That's on SJP World Media. That's a Doctor Who podcast if you're interested in that. And the DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc, which I almost forgot, but I remembered at the end. Mayor of Canton, what do you got to say?
Oh, what do I have to say? I could talk for hours, but I won't. I'm just going to say follow our good friend, Mr. Thomas Bryce at Thomas Bryce 2017, Thomas Bryce 2020. And if you would like to check out a website, you can find him at SportsWire Kobe, SportsWire Radio.
That was like Bungalow. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, that wasn't Kobe. That was like Danny Ferry.
Somebody went to Duke for sure.
Yeah, someone that went to Duke. I think Danny Ferry did go to Duke.
He did.
Yeah, so I could name lots of players that went to Duke, but we won't do that either because that's Dookie. And that's it. Follow us. You can find us on the TikTok. And Brent can tell you all about our TikTok because it is fantastic. And you should watch our reels on there, whatever they're called.
The mayor's like, I don't know, but it sounds good.
It sounds amazing. TikTok's what all the cool kids do. So 6, 7.
Yeah, I don't even. I asked my son, who's 17, what that means, and he said it doesn't mean anything. So I don't know if he's lying to me or if that's the truth. But yeah, so that's it. That's all. I'm not going to say anything else because it was already starting to get weird. So the mayor's going to say the one thing that he always says at the end of the show. So go ahead.
Arriba.
There it is.